Your thoughts so far with COVID and everything that's happened to you? Because obviously, congratulations again, you just passed your bar exam. But what was your thoughts when COVID happened?
Well, my initial thoughts, just like many others, I was like, is this really real? Um, wasn't quite sure what to expect with COVID. But once it hit, once we had to return home from work and everything, that's when it really started to hit me like, no, this could be the new way of work, new way of life. Um, I really started to really focus more on what I wanted to do with myself personally, health wise, career wise, and everything else. Um, so I think COVID actually was a blessing and a curse. If you used your time wisely during COVID, it was such a blessing because you got to focus on yourself, got to recoup, and get yourself together. But if you were just using COVID as a vacation,
Yeah,
um, then that's where you suffer.
it'll show, man. It's a lot of jobless people, but
Uh-huh.
those that are still going are the ones that were creative and innovative. I mean, did you do a lot of studying to to prep for the bar?
Yeah, actually. So a lot of people who know me know I've taken the bar a couple times. So with
No.
me, it's been kind of a struggle. Um, but with this last go around, it's been kind of easier. I took a lot of stress off myself. I was like, you know what? I know what I know. I know this stuff. I went to law school for 3 years, so I know it. I just got to take pressure off myself. So
Right.
I put in that study time, but also being able to be around the guys I coach kind of relieved some stress off of me. So I got to focus on them, and they kind of actually pushed me, seeing how hard they work. That's why I love sports so much because you see the effort that they put in. And as a coach, it actually went back to me, and I was like, you know what? I see my guys putting in effort to get somewhere where they want to be, and I'm right where I need to be, but I need to get over that hump. So it allowed me to push and study a little harder to help me get over that hump. So
I can only imagine, bro. My guy, Paul Jones. He finished from Northwestern, but it took him, I don't know, 3 or 4 times just to pass the test to get in the school.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't know the grind you guys got to go through and how much money you have to pay just to take the test. I,
right.
I think it's what, like 150? What is it
Yeah,
more than that?
one or 250. I'm not sure if they raised the prices from when I was, because I graduated in 2017 from law school. So I was taking a test to get into law school around 2013.
Wow.
And at that time, I was coaching football at a middle school here in Fort Wayne, Summit Middle School. And it's a lot of sacrificing. I didn't have a lot of family time. Some things I had to put on the back end to kind of get where I wanted to go.
No more
But
social
yeah,
time at all.
social time was just like non-existent. Um, but I had to do what I had to do where I'm at today.
What made you want to get into law?
Um, Interesting. That's a good question because I never really thought about law school until maybe middle school. Seventh grade, I had a teacher, Mr. Jackson, Darrell Jackson. He, we were in social studies class, and he just wanted to do something different, and he had this book called "You Be the Jury," where it was a scenario, a case, and we all split sides, prosecutors, defense attorneys, you had a judge, court reporter, everything else. And we would just argue the case. And being an athlete and being very competitive, I found that very fun because I got to compete, I get to argue, and the Bron got a competitive side. But then after that, I kind of shied away from law a little bit, but then I realized that there's a way for me to practice law and sports. And one of the big influences we had here in town was Roosevelt Barnes and the late great Eugene Parker, um,
Okay.
who practiced in the area of sports. So that kind of drew my interest back into law. And when I went to Purdue, I changed my major because I was an elementary school major. I wanted to be a
Wow.
teacher at one point. Yeah, I
Okay.
wanted to be a teacher. I love working with kids. And then I took a sociology class, and that's when my whole major changed and really focused on people overall and the law. And then uh, got into law school at Valpo and ended up doing the sports law uh,
That's dope.
route. So
How did you like being in the region, man, attending Valpo? Valpo is a really, really nice campus.
yeah, it's small compared to Purdue, but being in law school where it requires a lot of focus, it was perfect for me. It was a small family. Valpo actually, I made a lot of great connections through Valpo. My first year, I worked for a federal magistrate in Hammond,
Okay.
at the federal courts in Hammond. I
Nice.
worked there during the summer, and then I came back to Fort Wayne my second year and clerked for Judge Wendy Davis, who's also a Valpo alum. And then, you know, just being around that atmosphere, people who are, headed the same direction you are. It was a small family, and it was great though. Like Valpo, I make jokes all the time. Like I didn't even have to lock my door because it was
Yeah.
just like a small community, and nobody harmed anybody. It was just
They have
everybody.
their own. They have their own community. I
Yeah,
kid you not, man. I was in their coffee shop, and I'm like, guys, don't wear masks in here. Like it's their own community. Like they feel so comfortable with each other, which is really, really cool. Like,
yeah.
what did you take away from being in law school and your classmates and your peers? Like, was it that you can give that information to a young brother coming up? Like paying attention to detail is essential. You know
hmm
what I mean? Making sure you're on time to class, making sure you're networking and being engaged with the professor. Could you break that down, like what you learned while being in class?
Yeah, I think the main thing that I took out of that was networking, um, networking and being able to communicate uh, with your clients, not only your clients but individuals outside the legal field as well. That's one of the main things I harp on my players about. That was actually like our main focus this summer, being a short summer with COVID. Our main point, even during games, was communication, and that's something I learned in law school. Uh, with the professors, when I first got to Valpo, everyone was like, oh, like just so in awe of these professors and holding them to a higher pedestal on a higher pedestal. I approached the professors as they were just like another person to me, someone that I genuinely wanted to know. It wasn't me trying to, you know, uh, get the A in the classroom or whatnot. I was really trying to learn who they were as people, and I think that's what helped better my connection with those professors, and the reason why I had to, um, have that relationship with quite a few of them today, even 3 years removed from law school.
I think athletes need to do a better job of when they become a student athlete at the collegiate level to make relationships with your professor.
hmm
Like I didn't find the value in that until once I graduated and my networking skills start to pick up because
hmm
I always thought the game would take care of me with life after basketball, but sometimes the
Right.
game don't give you that same respect that you think you deserve.
Right.
And most athletes will come to class feeling as though that they're the epitome of the school because they play on the men's basketball team, and that's not always the case. The professor already is checking for you to see how you're going to come into class, and that's basically their judgment of your entire semester in that class, and it's crazy.
Exactly. And one thing I will tell you about law schools, because I had the opportunity and the privilege to work in the Office of Admissions my second and third year.
Okay.
And so I did a lot of recruiting for the law school. They love athletes. Law schools love athletes because they have this competitive side to them. And when you're in law school, it's very competitive. So, and they know how hardworking athletes are and attention to detail and putting in the extra hours in that they need to get to where they need to be. They love it. So I push athletes to, if you don't know what you want to do, if you want to push law, I'll pursue it. I push them to pursue it because you already got an advantage being an athlete. They love it. So,
What was your thought process that first day of law school? Like, did you say to yourself, I got to wear a suit today, or like I'm coming in with sweats and a hoodie? Like, what was that attire
um,
like for the first day?
it was crazy. So like we had orientation leading up to the first day of school, and our orientation at Valpo was a week long. So it was
Okay.
pretty long. So every day people were dressing up in suits. And I was like, man, I'm about to run out of suits, man. Like, I
Right.
don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. And then like, the first couple of weeks, people were wearing suits, shirts and ties. Um, and then I started to see the 2Ls and the 3Ls, come in sweats and everything else. So I kind of got lax a little bit. But at
Word.
Valpo, we had a bow tie Tuesday. So Tuesdays we all dressed up and everybody wore a bow tie. One of our professors had that tradition. So that was one of the days where I was like, okay, I could dress up on Tuesday, and
Right.
then all the other days, unless I'm not having a presentation, I could dress how I want to dress, be a little more comfortable. So,
How did you feel when you got accepted that letter of acceptance? Like you've been admitted to law school. Who was the first person you told that to?
oh man, so I remember January 31st, 26, no, 2014, yeah, 2014 was when I got accepted. I only know that because that's my mom's birthday. I got accepted on
Nice.
my mom's birthday. So she was the first person I told. And I actually called off of work. I was working when I got the acceptance letter, and I was like, I gotta go home
Right.
and
It's a wrap.
celebrate. Yeah, it's a wrap. I took my mom out to eat here in town for her birthday and the fact that I got accepted into law school. So that was always a day to remember.
That and the fast forward now, like what was that to know that you, DeMarkus Muhammed, passed the bar exam? What was that feeling like? Because on social media blew up from all across platforms. Did you know the reception you was going to get from posting that?
I did not know. I kind of had I had people who reached out to me a couple times when I came up short,
Right.
and they were like, "Just keep going." I had attorneys and judges like telling me to keep going, and it's so easy to give up when you see that you're not getting the results that you want. But I had
Right.
to go back to the table and figure out what I needed to do to pass. But when I passed, I remember I was just laying in bed. I was getting up, getting ready for work, and then the email came through, and the first person I told was my dad. And my dad is, if anybody knows my dad, he's like real strong, don't cry,
Right.
But he choked up, and I was like, I got him. So the reception I took from that was is very overwhelming. Like that day, I could hardly get any work done. Everybody was just texting me, showing me love, and it was a great feeling to know that I had a lot of people behind my back and supporting me. So
Yeah, no, I thought it was dope. Anybody that's going through something and you have your trials and tribulations and you like, man, I've continuously tried and I didn't get it, and then you finally got it at a time where a lot of jobless people, a lot of
hmm
people that are not in the same situation they were in a few months ago or last year, and during this whole COVID situation, to see what you're doing is inspiring to a lot of brothers out there, brothers and sisters, bro. So that's why I wanted you to come on a podcast and share your journey. And I know a lot of people are wondering, like, how did you cross paths with gym rats? Like, how are you in the gym rats community? So share that,
so
DeMarkus.
so I love Gym Rats. I love the organization. I actually started with Gym Rats maybe a couple of years ago. Actually, Jared Quarles was the first uh, coach I coached with. He brought me in because my nephew was playing with him and
Oh,
his son
nice.
Jace.
Okay.
So I used to just show up to practice to see how my nephew was doing. And then Coach Quarles was like, "Hey man, anytime you want to help out, just let me know." And that's all he needed to say because I was like, I like how he is with the kids,
Right.
how he coaches and how he instructs them. I was like, I could see myself, helping them out. So I did that. I left because my nephew moved to Columbus, um, to be with his father. But then I went over to the girls' side, and I was coaching with David Goodwill and Justin Jordan.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Shout
yeah,
out to Goody, man. Shout out to
yeah,
Goody and JJ.
yeah. Those are good dudes. I love coaching with them with time the ball. I had the 8th grade girls, and I helped Goody with the 7th grade girls. So that 2024 and 2025 class of ladies were real great to work with. Shout out to them. I know they're working hard still.
For sure.
Um, but once their season was up, I had Mark Burks and Jared Boff, who were trying to get me for a while to come over and help with this 2024 class. And me and Mark actually worked together. So we used to
Nice.
chop it up every day, just about. And he was like, bro, I got an open spot. So, I came over, and I'm very grateful for that because Mark and Jared, they could have found someone else, but
No
uh,
question.
Jared Crows put in great work for me. And, for Mark and Jared to pull me over with that 2024 class, it's tons of talent on the 2024 class. And for me to just, be able to be a part of that was very grateful. And, I got to build great relationships with that class. To this day, they hit me up all the time. So it was a great experience. I'm still looking forward to it because I learned a lot from them, and I hope that they learned a lot from me outside of the X's and O's in
Right.
basketball.
No, I think that's huge, bro. Like Gym Rats, obviously, is one big organization. We just don't have this one team, and they got the youth all the
Hmm.
way up to like what 14, 15, 16, 17 you and
Yeah.
so forth. So as the brand continues to expand, man, we appreciate you, and that's why we wanted you to come on a podcast and to share your journey, especially being a native from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Last question I have for you, DeMarkus: who is the people that shaped you to be the person you are today?
Oh man, it's with I could say my immediate family for sure. My mom and dad, Mark and Doris, Muhammad, and then my siblings are really really key to my development and my growth. Everyone from my big sister, Kiana, my brother Marquel, Kareem, and then my sister Tara, my brother Dre and Nakia, they are actually trainers at Traction Athletic Performance. My brother Dre is the owner of Traction, so he works at all the football players here in town. Just watching them grow and see how they interact with other individuals, um, kind of pushed me to be a better man myself. We always talk. But with me personally, it's just been a community effort, honestly. I still keep in touch with my elementary school teachers from Irwin. I still keep in touch with some of my law professors, some of my high school teachers from Elmhurst. Um, so, to have those individuals still in my corner and pushing me, even as a grown man, and even my coaches from, you know, Coach Ayers to, Coach Norfleet, I had quite a bit. It's just been a
Whole
collective group.
village, whole collective of village.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, and we don't get that these days. It takes a village to raise a child. That's kind of lost. It's a lost art, but with me and my siblings, it still holds true to this day. So we have a lot of people to thank. Definitely the community of Fort Wayne, Judge Davis, um, you know, the the judges in the family court. They still push me. Magistrate Morgan, Judge Pratt. So I got a lot of individuals who really push me to be great. So.
Man, you influencing a lot of people. Like I said, man, to do what you do now and being in the Gym Rats program and to share your village. I hope other brothers, when they do listen to it, and sisters, that it just didn't take you. You wasn't alone. It was
Right.
so many different people and avenues you had to take to get to where you are today. I'm gonna have you explain the two people behind you. Who jerseys are those behind you?
Oh, so the two jerseys, we have Walter Jones. He's a
Okay.
Hall of Fame lineman
Okay.
in the NFL. My dad did work with him back in the day at his camp.
Nice.
Eugene Parker and Roosevelt Barnes actually represented him with
That's awesome.
and then also with James Hardy. He's my cousin, a high school teammate. He was real big in my brother's development as well. My brother played football at IU and had a little short stint with the Raiders.
Nice.
Um, but James was real valuable. like I said, me and him played high school ball together. We used to, go at it, argue all the time, but that's because he was very competitive. And, we still hold some values and lessons from him today. Even though he's long gone, he still remains with us at all times. So
I appreciate that. DeMarkus, thank you so much for coming on a podcast, bro. We appreciate it. I cannot wait to everybody to listen to this and check this out.
thank you, brother. I appreciate you having me on. It's been a blessing.